What's good, family? So smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So we got some more breaking news right now. Your man's boxing scene has now reached out for official comment from the WBC regarding the recent allegations from the Daily Star, I believe it was, a day or two ago, who essentially leaked the fact that Team Dillian White, Team Dillian, this Chilean shite, and TYSON Fury would indeed, or have indeed, been passed down the ruling from the split ruling from the WBC at 80-20. So boxing scene, as we know, listen, fair play to the Daily Star. They clearly had the leak, no doubt about that. But now we've got the boxing scene who have not only, as we know, the boxing scene more or less is the authority within the sport, but forget putting that to one side, authority or no authority, they've actually reached out to the WBC for official comment, and we're going to get to that in a hot second. So I'm going to read out the article courtesy of Boxing Scene. No doubt, Fury White heads to January 11th purse bid. WBC sets 80-20 split. Tyson Fury and his team were granted the purse split sought for a potential mandatory title defence. Whether or not that fight materialises could come down to the response from the other side. BoxingScene.com has learned that the WBC has approved a prior request from Top Rank, Fury's co-promoter, who called for an 80-20 purse split from the mandatory title fight between the lineal and WBC heavyweight champion and current interim titleist Dillian the Chilean shite. The ruling from the WBC, which was first reported by Chris McKenna of Daily Star in the UK, where both heavyweights are based, was also accompanied with a purse bid date of January 11th, 2022, unless both sides are able to come to an agreement during that time frame. Maurizio Sulaiman, the WBC president, said the following: "We ordered the fight on Thursday." The WBC president told Boxing Scene on Thursday, taking time from celebrating his 52nd birthday to confirm the news. The consideration for the 80-20 split comes from the purses the fighters have earned in their recent fights. Maurizio Sulaiman also said, "We cannot discuss any further details whatsoever due to the current court proceedings with Dillian the Chilean shite," noted Sulaiman. "The arbitration is still going on. Unfortunately, we're in the process. We simply made the ruling today, the 80-20 ruling today, and that's where we are right now. That's why we can't make any further comments whatsoever. This has been a very frustrating process, but I'm happy and hopeful that it will get done." So that's essentially, Boxing Scene, go and check the original source out. They've written a whole bunch of stuff in there, but obviously, you man come to the YB for the leaks, yeah? 100% straight to the point. Now, listen, what do we know? Yeah, what we know is, there's a don called Boxing Talk with Ade. Now, Boxing Talk with Ade yesterday was kind of on a bit of a mad one. Yeah, he was on a bit of a mad one, shilling for Matchroom about, it's out of order that... to be fair to him, having read this article myself, I get how Boxing Talk with Ade was kind of gassed up, talking about, this is out of order. I was saying Dillian should take the fight, but now Dillian's being wrong, and it's wrong that Top Rank should be able to contact the WBC and get their way of doing things through. But again, the way Boxing Scene have written this, because Boxing Scene said, the WBC responded to Top Rank's request for 80-20 and they've granted it. That's not the case, people. Check the rules. Yeah, the rules state, as you're going to see on your screen, as I put out the last time in the last few days, the rules state Dillian gets 20%, the interim challenger gets 20%, the champion gets 70%, and there's a 10% buffer. However, to be fair, if this is a strict 80-20, then that does, I can't lie, that does seem to be a bit booky looking. I'm assuming, even though, we have heard a brief comment from the WBC, from Boxing Scene, but they weren't really going into too many details. We're going to find out though, because what we do know for sure is, you man show me. I haven't seen nowhere in the WBC rules saying that it's a strict 20%. That's what I haven't seen. I've seen two different rules, and I'm going to show you them on the left side and the right side of your screen. One of the rules says straight 70-30. Another one says it's 70-20 and the winner gets 10. So really, that kind of works out. It's either 20% guaranteed and 10% to the winner, or 30% guaranteed. Although, to be fair to the actual rulebook, this isn't actually the case, in as much as whilst the standard kind of split percentages can either be or is written as either 30% to the challenger or 20 to turn up and 10% extra if you win. Later on in the rules, there is a clause which states if the WBC decides, and which it has the full discretion to do so, based on both of the fighters' previous earnings or recent earnings, they can have the full discretion to change anything they like. So it's difficult. But what I will say is, it's kind of weird, because in the rulebook, the WBC says they have the full right to modify, but they don't actually specify that they're able to modify the other way, if that makes sense. For example, the WBC outlines that, if we decide that a challenger has more market value than the stipulated 20 or 30%, we can change that anywhere up to 50-50%. But what they don't specify is that they have the right to do it the other way. But again, the fact they don't specify it, who knows? They do, and again, they do keep saying, as the WBC shall determine in its sole discretion. So that could just mean either way, but who knows? Listen, you know what the point is here, people. The bottom line is, again, Dillian is down bad right now. He should have chewed off, and this is the thing, you see. People hire all these funny style managers. You got Dillian White's manager, yeah? His wife. What's his wife's name? Lamar White. Well, goofy. Big. Here's another one. Yeah. Here's another one. Big hardback. I mean, I'm 5'9", yeah, but I'll tell you this for free. I ain't taking no man's name. Oops. Yeah. You got these big hardback looking ass Nick. No, that 100%. Big nicks. big looking nicks. Oh man, I'm 6'5" and 300 pounds, but you're taking next man's name. Yeah? You ain't no manager, because any manager would have told Dillian the Shillian, Dillian, take the 30% and go and get that work in. Because now look at you. Now look, you got punked, and I warned you. All these other channels, sporting shillicons, yeah, they gassed you up. Oh, Dillian, you're going to get 80 million%. Dillian, yeah, you're worth 90 million%. Even though you got paid 300 grand in your last fight, even though you've never made the kind of purses Fury's made, you're definitely going to get 80%. Just blowing smoke all the way up his ass. Now look at you, down bad. Just like the YB predicted again. I told you. Watch the video. I said, listen, I've done a whole bag of 30-minute videos on this. I told you what was going to happen. I said, listen, if you man ain't careful, yeah, you can do all the crying on the internet you want, but if you're not careful, you're going to end up down bad. You're not lucky, Dillian. I'm sorry, but if you ain't worked out yet, you ain't one of them lucky guys. Your name ain't Tyson Fury, who just kind of seems to everything fall into place. But you have to understand that. That's not you. Yeah? And to be fair to Fury, he has to an extent made his own luck as well. And I've got some more videos coming soon, but what a lot of people don't appreciate is, guess what? It's all well and good slagging Fury off, but to be fair to Fury, yeah, when Fury fought Vlad, he did so for 20%. Oops. So I don't want to hear no more about this. Oh man, Dillian, and he's so big, and he's so known, and he got so much. I don't want to hear it. He's not a champion. He's not undefeated. A whole bag of man have had a go on him. Yeah, Dillian, you are any man. As far as it comes to the World Championship, this is your time to become someone worth noting. And like I said before, just because you noshed Eddie Hearns off and noshed Sky executives off to get on the pay-per-views don't mean nothing. Yeah? Don't mean nothing. We can all nosh executives off. Look at Timmy Fury. Timmy Fury stayed noshing as well. We can all nosh different execs off to get on the pay-per-views. So you know what I mean? One of them ones, or one of them Weinstein ones. We can all be doing that, but So what I'm saying is, that doesn't mean you got some significant talent. Talent is in the ring. It's not made on the casting couch, unfortunately. As much as Dillian White fans would want you to believe that, yeah, but YB, Dillian's been doing the most in the Sky executive backroom casting couch. Yeah, that's what you might want me to. But YB, Dillian's put a shift in the Sky executive couch. Listen, that's his business. I didn't ask you to go in there on some Weinstein thing. Yeah, and so yeah, that's your business. Whatever you've done to secure them Sky pay-per-views fighting bums, that's on you. Yeah, but as far as the sport goes, which is what I care about, this is your chance. And you've been punked. Like I said, you were going to be punked, and you're getting 20% now. And you should have chewed it. I told you before. I said, listen, you man talking about 40%. You're going to end up down bad. Oh, but YB, you know, he worth 40%, he worth 50%. I said, you'll be lucky to get 30. I said, if you're not careful, you're going to end up... And I swear to God, you man know, who watched the videos, know what I've been saying. I literally said, if Dillian ain't careful, he going to end up... And the good thing is, though, I wasn't 100% correct, because what I believed was going to happen, I believed the WBC was going to drop this one in about 9 months' time. That's what I thought was going to happen. So he should be grateful. He should be grateful they've spared him. Because they could quite easily wait until June and then drop it anyway. So be grateful that at least you know your fate. At least your fate's been made. And now, just like everyone else has done. And again, I've got more videos coming soon. But like, people forget, Tyson Fury, when he was undefeated coming off the Vlad win. And I'm not saying he necessarily deserved it because he hadn't fought no one. But I'm talking in principle. The name Tyson Fury, having beaten Vlad, having been undefeated, when he fought Deontay Wilder, yeah, guess what? He took 40% off the rip. He took 40%. So I'm thinking to myself, if an undefeated fighter who did beat Vlad, something Dillian never did and probably would never have done, yeah, if Tyson Fury can accept 40% as an undefeated fighter who just beat Vlad, what planet are you man on, Mister? Yeah, Povetkin turned you out. That's what did happen. Povetkin turned you out, and that's on you. No, I didn't. Listen, I didn't ask you to get chinned by Povetkin, did I? It's gone to... you got chinned by Povetkin, but you want me to be talking about you want 50%. Oh, but you got Eddie Hearn. You wheeled Eddie Hearn out to talk about 45%. You're delusional. I'm sorry. You're delusional. You lost the plot. Yeah? You let sporting silicons blow smoke all the way up your ass, and now look at you. Got 20%. Now you got less than half of what you thought you was going to get. Oops. And what could have happened is, you could have employed the YB for some little change, and I could have told you what was going to happen. But it's the problem with you funny style dons. You think, oh, but I'm going to go with Hearn. I'm going to go with a white man with a Bentley, and he going to... Oops. Yeah? How'd that work out for you? Because all that happened was, you got the smoke blowing up your ass, Dillian, again. Yeah? Dillian, let me tell you now. You spent too much time in the exec rooms, and all the execs have been doing God knows what to you, and now look at you. All washed up looking. You're washed up and you're down bad. Just like the YB predicted. Yeah? 100%. And the bottom line is, the rules are the rules. You was never going to get more than... That's what I don't get. The rules, and this is the thing, you got people like Eddie Hearn. You got people like Boxing Talk with Ade. And I rate Ade because, to be fair, he's another one. Yeah, for whatever reason. And I respect the hustle. I respect the fact that you've gone to the Sky executive offices and you've done all kind of madness in them, kind of backouts. You've gone to all the back room, casting couch, done executive rooms, and you've been there and done the most in them rooms and whatnot. I respect that. I rate that. Yeah, you man do your thing, 100%. I mean, them Weinstein dons. Someone's got to do it. Do you understand? Someone got to sell the booty hole to get the. No, but on a serious note, listen. The bottom line. Yeah, the bottom line. Eddie Hearn. Boxing Talk with Ade, all these other cats, all these other corporate cats, gassing the place up. Yeah, you're gonna get 45%, and Dillian's been done wrong because he's entitled to 45%. Where's that? I swear to God, I've been begging for people to show me where you read that Dillian gonna get 45%. Where you read that at? Oh, but it's because he's interim champion, and where? Because I've looked from high to low for any evidence of this clause about the interim champion. There is no clause about the interim champion. It don't exist. You man made it up. Yeah? There's nowhere to be found. It's not even a bit in the rules. Yeah? Not even a bit in the rules. Definitely not in the recent rules anyway. Maybe if you man went before the recent ones, but again, what's the point in that? And besides, as I've said many times, Dillian is not a 45% guy. Yeah? He ain't beat no one worth 45%. He needs to settle himself now and do what Tyson Fury did, to be fair. Because Tyson Fury, and that's what I do. We can say what we want, yeah, but I rate Tyson Fury. And you might know me, or people who know me know that I rate people on a case-by-case basis. And I have to respect the fact that, and that's the thing, Tyson Fury's mindset, when he was a challenger, he acted as a challenger. He was actually grateful to get his shot. He thought Vlad was going to duck him. So he was actually grateful to prove he could be the man. And that's how it's supposed to be, people. Until you've done that, which Dillian hasn't. And I've said it before, but I wouldn't actually mind, yeah, if Dillian White had actually dethroned a champion in the past, I'd get how he's got kind of elevated status. If you actually beat Fury once, or if you actually beat AJ once, do you know what I'm saying? If you actually beat one of them multi-belt holders once, I'd get how you kind of think you're gas, but you've in your life, you've only ever proven that you're second best. That's just the cold hard truth. Oh, but YB, you're broke, and YB, you're in the basement. YB, he millionaire. I never said he weren't. But as far as we can sit here and play whatever you want, yeah. The facts are, you ain't the champ yet. And it's sad that we even have to be having this conversation. You should have picked the phone up and said to Frank, let's get it in at 30%. And now look, you're going to be getting 20% if you're lucky. And if you ain't careful, they're going to cut it down again if you keep talking. Yeah? Because knowing you go in there and get chinned again. That's the thing, that's why I don't care. That's what I can't understand about you Dillian White fans. You're making out that your man's just some Robocop who's going to go in there and just march forward. Your man's vulnerable. He needs to go in there now. I mean, look at his career. If you haven't worked anything out, people, this guy ain't the guy who you want going in there with a whole bag of different man. You just don't know. Is it going to be... You know what I'm saying? You just don't know what shot's going to turn him off next. So it's best you go in there and get yours now. Otherwise, if you keep moaning and finding excuses, you're going to end up down bad. Yeah? I told you this months ago. I said Dillian down bad White, and people didn't want to listen. Oh, why be this? Why be that? Oops. Yeah? 100%. So no more, listen, sporting silicons. No more blowing smoke up his arse. Yeah? You're getting 20%. Suck it up and crack on. Or don't. Or just carry on fighting Malcolm Tan. Or do that, because to me, I don't care, yeah? I'm looking for a way out of this dead game, truth be known. So you man do what you want, yeah? Carry on fighting Malcolm Tan on Netflix or whatever, or DAZN. Yeah, Malcolm Tan and this next goofy dude we never heard of. Go keep fighting goofies we never heard of. It's up to you, make your choice. But from now on, I don't want to hear no more about, it's 500 days, 1,000 days. No more about 1,000 days, no more about the cam man, no more about, people ducking me, because Fury ain't ducked you, unfortunately. If anything, if this fight don't happen, Dillian White has cacked his pants. Yeah? Bottom line. Because he had no problem fighting every that's the thing I don't get. Every other fight Dillian's had has been for less money. Oops. So wait there. Why is it all of a sudden you got a problem? Why is it all of a sudden you were trying to cash out? Don't make no sense to me. Tyson Fury is supposed to have no chin. He's supposed to have spindly legs. And listen, I've made all these allegations in the past, but the reason people say, YB, why aren't you saying this anymore? Why aren't you saying that anymore? How can I say things, yeah, when there's no one to put them into practice? For me to say Fury's got skinny legs, how can that work when he's knocking all you big 6'5", you know what I'm saying? You big nicks out. How's that going to work? How can I can't talk the talk. You man getting slapped around the place by cruiserweights. Oops. Yeah? There's no more talking to be done, because you man are soft. All I can do now is sit there and be humbled. I've been humbled, 100%. The YB has been humbled by Usyk and Fury. Yeah? There's no more talking to be done. Only action can be done now. We're past the talking stage. There's no more talk to be had. Talk about what? Talk about Johnston getting slapped around by a cruiserweight. Talking about Dillian White playing the money game against a man with no legs and no chin. Sorry, that can't work. Because right now, big bulbous dudes are down bad. Johnston, down bad. Deontay Wilder, down bad. Dillian White, down bad. His team down bad right now, 100%. And it's a shame, but listen, that's the facts. The facts are, there's not one don with substance in this game. Yeah, because you're all getting slapped around the place in one way or another. It's embarrassing, truth be known. And the fact that Fury in the past has actually done what you're supposed to be doing right now, Yeah, go and take the crown off the champion's head to become champion. About 45%. What planet are you on, Dillian? You've really, seriously, Dillian, you and Eddie Hearn have seriously lost the plot. And I'd honestly be insulted if you got 45%. For what? Yeah? For what? What's Dillian done? I'm sorry. What has he done to be anywhere near 40%? Because you went undefeated. That's for starts. And it's not even like you've lost to a whole bunch of good people. You've lost to people. Who have you lost to? Oops. Yeah? But anyway. The rules have been spoken now. We got the purse bids. And that's another thing as well. We've got people gassing about the purse bids. Yeah? Oh, the purse bids this, the purse bids that. Oh, Eddie Hearn gonna save in the purse bids. You man don't get this. The purse bids don't have anything to do with the split. The split has been decided. Yeah? The split's done now. The split will be 80-20 unless Dillian White either rejects the fight, rejects the mandatory shot, or files another lawsuit. That's the only way that's gonna possibly change the split. Will he change the split? I don't think so. Because the WBC have it in the rules. They can change what they want with their sole discretion. Now, do I think 80-20 is a bit harsh? Yes, but again, unfortunately, the game we're in, it's like poker. Or it's like gambling. Meaning that Dillian, this time last week, yeah, you had Team Fury begging to give you 25 to 30%. You could have, and if you'd listened to me, if I was in your team, we'd have chewed their hand off at 30%, and we'd be sitting there now with a 30% contract locked in, and we'd be laughing now, saying, "Damn, that was damn YB, yeah? You're gonna get a bonus because you've saved me 10%. Oops, because now you got big Mr. Eddie Hearn, Mr. Bentley, Mr. Silverspoon. Oh, you're so good at business. Now look at you. You just lost 10% because you thought you was too smart, and you went smart. That's what you're not. Yeah, that's what you've proven throughout your career. You ain't that smart. You think you're smart, but you ain't smart. Yeah, 100%." 100%. So this purse bids business, the purse bids, all that means is that like Eddie Hearn can't save Dillian. All Eddie Hearn can do is pay Tyson Fury 80%. Yeah, that's all. All Eddie Hearn. The only thing the purse bids decides, yeah, is how much both fighters get guaranteed. Yeah, that's it. So it's about the guarantee. Purse bids is just about the guarantee. It's not even really about the actual revenue. Obviously, we know you can't guarantee, or you can't guarantee future cash inflows, if that makes sense. They don't know how many pay-per-views they're going to sell exactly. They don't know how many tickets. They don't know how much the gate's going to do. So instead, they have a bid for the guarantee. Who will guarantee the most money? That's what the purse bid's about. It's not about the split. So, for example, let's say Eddie Hearn bids 100 million. That's great. Dillian White will be getting paid 20 million. However, Tyson Fury will be getting 80 million. Eddie Hearn can't do nothing to change the purse split, apart from file a lawsuit, if that makes sense. The purse split's got nothing to do with the split now. The split's locked in at 80-20. Yeah? So, the purse bids is a question of who's going to guarantee the most. It doesn't even necessarily guarantee how much they're going to get paid. The guarantee is just a minimum floor, if that makes sense. So if Eddie Hearn bets 10 million and Frank Warren bets 5 million, then Fury's going to get 4 from... Or sorry, if Eddie Hearn would win in that circumstance, and Fury would get 8 and Dillian would get 2. And then if the total revenue of the show is less than 10 million, then Eddie Hearn ends up out of pocket. Let's say the show ends up grossing, or let's say the show ends up... Yeah, well, let's say the show brings in 8 million. That would mean Eddie Hearn is $2 million out of pocket, because he's got to pay... Or 2 million at least, because he's got to pay the fighters before anything else. Or, you know, if that makes sense. If the fighter's pot is 8 million, then Eddie Hearn's out 2 million. Now, if the fight ends up doing 40 million or whatever, then Dillian White and Fury are going to get more than the 10 that was guaranteed. They're going to get the 10 that was guaranteed, plus they'll get an 80-20 split of whatever their pot's left of the extra amount, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's what I understand to be the case going forward. Dillian, what should Dillian do now? Well, I mean, Boxing Talk with Ade said that, oh, Dillian, Dillian shouldn't take this fight. There's no way I'm supporting Dillian to take this fight at 20%. Oh, the WBC is completely corrupt. There's no way that Top Rank should be able to petition, and it's completely corrupt and whatnot. Now, I'm not saying the WBC is 100% kosher, but this is the problem, you see, people. People who understand economics shit, when you understand game theory, you have to know the people you're playing against. And that's what I was saying. I've been saying, every single video for the last week I've been saying, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Why are you trying to gamble when you know the game is rigged? And to be honest, I'm not even saying it's that rigged in this example. But you know what I'm saying? Why bother gambling? Lock it in. Lock in the 30%. And be grateful that you got some, you know what you're dealing with. Because Dillian White's history has not proven that things haven't just ended up going in your favour. Why do people always think they're lucky for? I don't get that. I'm not saying I gamble, but yeah, I'm not saying I've never lost gambling before, but there's smart gambles. Well, tell I. Betting on Johnson ain't a smart gamble, but you know, it should have been a smart gamble if he wasn't so soft. But anyway, back to the point. The point is, Boxing Talk with Ade was saying, and to be fair, it's not just him. Sporting Chilicons and other people was gassing it too. Oh, I'm not backing this. There's no way Dillian should take this fight. Dillian getting 20%, and Top Rank and WBC are completely corrupt. Top Rank have done what's the word I'm looking for? They've done their fiduciary requirement to their client. Yeah? That's they're required. Top Rank's required. Why wouldn't they want to get the most for their client? Yeah? Eddie Hearn would do the same. If Eddie Hearn had this relatively more profitable star, you think he ain't going to put a petition in? Bearing in mind the rules. That's what this game's all about, rules, people. When the rules say, in exceptional circumstances, based on the recent purses, and you know Team Tyson Fury knew their man's made, 10 million in their last fight? And they know Dillian ain't made nowhere near that. So why? What they can do? Sit there and say, oh, you know what, we want to pay Dillian 1,000,000%. Especially when people, I wouldn't mind so much if Top Rank had been completely out of order, but the fact they offered Dillian 25, possibly likely 30%. Bob Arum was on video last week saying, Dillian, we want to shake at 20%, but come to the table. 25%. Bob Arum said 25% a week ago, and he was asking to come to the table. If a man's saying 25%, he would have stretched to 30, I reckon, to get it done. He sounded like he wanted to get it done. Yeah? Bottom line, they want to get the mandatory wrapped up. So, it's got nothing to do with corruption. Top Rank have played the game, and they've won. And what can I say? And the fact that there's precedent, people, it isn't unusual to get 20% in a mandatory. Tyson Fury himself has sucked it up and done it. So why can't Dillian? That's the real question you've got to ask yourself, people. If Tyson Fury was able to accept 20% against Klitschko, why can't Dillian? I understand that's an argument that the rules and this, that, the other. Well, the rules do say 30% or 20 and 10. There is some confusion around that. There's almost two different rules. There's two different rules. One says 70-30 and one says 20% and then 10 if he wins. So it's debatable whether it's 20 or 10. And that's why I think potentially, Bob Arum was offering 25. I think he was almost just going in the middle. If that makes sense. Unfortunately now, the WBC have spoken. Yeah, they've spoken. So, what's Dillian going to do? I hope, like I've been saying for the last 2 weeks now, I hope Dillian just does what he's been saying he's going to do. Will he do that? God knows. At this point, the way I look at the sport, I don't know what's going to happen. There was a time I'd have said, yeah, Dillian will want to prove that he's a trailblazer, but listen, Dillian turned down the AJ fight to fight Malcolm Tan. Because he believed he was some big, massive star, worth a massive amount of money, even though he ain't had no big wins. It's crazy. And some of you fans are delusional. YB, what are you talking about? He's had loads of big wins. He beat Rivas. He beat Chisora. Wow. He beat Parker. Wow. What are you talking about? These dons here are B-level dudes at best. They ain't no big wins. For me, yeah, big wins are Johnston at the time, or even now. But in terms of names, Johnston, Fury, Wilder. And I'd throw White in there, but obviously he can't fight White. But that's really it, people. There ain't a whole bunch of stock at the moment. Oh yeah, Klitschko as well at the time. But Fury and Dillian White, Fury and AJ managed to have a go on Klitschko, so I'll put him in the mix as well. Those were the names. And that's the way the sport is, people. There isn't going to be a million big names. The world doesn't work like that. There can only be a few people in the top 0.001%. That's how percentages work. You don't have a million big names. It's rare to be a big name. And that means when you have the big fights, you must, number one, take the opportunity with both hands. Yeah, get in a fight with a top 0.1% dude like Fury, like Johnston, like Klitschko or whatever. You have to take it with both hands. You don't just get these opportunities. That's the first thing. Number two, you have to seize the moment. Now, Dillian White not only has already had one chance where he lost in the AJ fight. Dillian White, has had an AJ fight which he lost. He then turns down an AJ fight. And now he's having got an opportunity at a Fury fight. Now I'm not saying to an extent he has made his own luck, if that makes sense. He has won more than he's lost, if that makes sense. But you ain't never won a big fight. That's what you ain't done. All you've done so far is turn down big fights and lose in big fights. That will be your career, Dillian. You'll be known as the man, who turned down big fights and or lost in them. Anthony Johnston will be known as the man who took all the big fights and just lost in them all. Yeah. So I guess to be fair, it depends how you look at things. What guy do you want to be? Do you want to be the guy who just turned them all down, or do you want to be the guy who turned up and just lost anyway, like Johnston? I'd hope that you'd want to be the guy who turns up and actually. And I'm not saying it's possible to always win. Sometimes people are just better than you, but you ain't even trying to roll the dice. You'd rather not have the fight in the courtroom or in the business room. For me, it's just a big shame, truth be known. It's a shame that we're even having this conversation, and I'm turned off anyway. Don't get me wrong. Of course I'll watch it. Of course I'll react to it, but I was expecting a lot more. Yeah, you might know, you've seen all the videos I've done over the years. Oh, Dillian, he done this, and now it's just kind of turned me off. And honestly, I'll be just as happy if Fury wins. And I think Fury's going to win anyway, to be honest with you. I don't see it now. Any hope I had for Dillian, I don't see now. Not how this has gone. Yeah, he should have been saying, Fury, I'll fight you for 2% because you're sweet. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not saying he should have accepted 2%, but that's what publicly. Yeah, he should have signed for 30%, signed for 25%, and then been saying, "Listen, Fury, I didn't care about the percent. Yeah, because you are sweet to me. You're like a box of chocolates. You know what I mean? I'll be telling the public, listen, when was the last time someone paid you to eat a box of chocolates? Exactly. Yeah. I'd have been telling people, listen, I can't believe I'm being paid $5 million to knock this guy out. Yeah. This is what you call Christmas come early. I'm getting paid to knock this big stiff tree out. That's what you should have been saying. Instead, oh man, I told y'all that I was gonna knock Tyson Fury out, but now I need 10 million. Wow, zesty. That's what comes to mind. Zesty. Dillian, you zesty. Yeah, Dillian the Shillian shite.